And we're live. It's Whiskey Watches and Wheels. And guess what? You got the Florida boys tonight. That's all you got. Because the other two are off fucking off somewhere. I'm the phenomenal Matt Green and Kevin.
I'm Kevin.
It's Kevin. All right. No, all kidding aside, James had some sort of concert to go to. Actually, I know exactly where, James, people don't realize this. He's a massive Chapel Roan fan. You haven't lived until you heard a Pop singing Pink Pony Club at the top of his lungs. So that's where he's at. And I think Casey went to some Blackpink. I don't know. He's a big, K-pop fan. So he's jamming to K-pop or something, a bunch of, teenage Korean girls. So that's where Casey's at. So it's just me and Kevin tonight. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
So we're just gonna shoot the shit, man. What do you want to talk about tonight? I mean, it's open. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's just the two of us.
I mean, I don't know. 24-hour Le Mans is coming out this weekend, so yeah. I guess we'll have something to talk about. Probably won't be here, so the audience, I'm celebrating my 25-year anniversary.
Freaking awesome! Congratulations, that's awesome.
And 29 years together, so I'm gonna do a big event. I'm gonna go do the Bourbon Trail. I'm going to go to West Virginia. I'm going to go to Ohio. And then I'm going to drive 15 hours back home. So I'm super excited. But just been watching F1, seeing how that's going. Not too much news really on car stuff.
I got a question for you though. So again, you guys are F1 fans, and I'm not that I'm not an F1 fan, but I just don't watch a lot of it.
I'll tell you how to get an F1 fan, how to become one.
Well, you told me, and I still need to watch the Netflix series. You told me the Netflix series is a good thing to watch. I need to do that. But then my question is, this Brad Pitt movie F1 is about to come out. Do you think that's gonna bring more people to it? Watching this movie.
So it could be. Sylvester Stallone had one called Driven.
Which was a great movie. I love that one.
Yes, I love the movie too. Good soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think people that are F1 fans will watch it just because they're already F1 fans. I don't necessarily think the movie's got to be very, very good. But to me, do you guys think that Days of Thunder made more NASCAR fans? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I will say this.
I think it's going to be the same premises. I think it's going to be the old man. Yeah. Right, it's going to be this whole storyline from what I've seen in previews.
The funny thing is the storyline for F1 is very similar to Driven. It's like they bring the old guy back. He's got a young teammate,
which was the same thing at Days of Thunder.
Right, yeah. If I go watch F1 and they do the damn quarter trick that Stallone did in that damn Driven movie, I'm like, all right, man. That all they did was rehash this shit thing and call it a different movie.
So I don't know if it's going. I think a lot of F1 fans may go, and if it's not a good movie, I think they're going to be the first ones to pick it apart. I mean, I know that they were doing it in at the Miami. I do know they originally tried to have Tom Cruise in the movie, and from what I've heard was that they didn't want him in it because he doesn't listen. He's very hey, I'm going to do my thing, and he's too spontaneous, and I don't want to say reckless. Whereas Brad Pitt listens and will follow directions and will follow, cues and stuff like that. So that was one of the reasons why they did Brad Pitt. We'll see for sure how it's going to work out.
I'm surprised they haven't done a sequel to Days of Thunder. That seems like something they would do.
I don't know if Top Gun. I mean, what are they going to do? I think at that point, it would be, I don't know. I mean,
unless they brought him back, they could bring Tom Cruise's character back to run a team, like the old man did for his team. Maybe something like that would be, bring in another young hot shot or something.
Yeah. But then again, we already knew. Right now, we just told you the plot, right? So
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I know with Top Gun, huge Top Gun fan. My daughter, my dad. Me, so 3 generations. I saw that movie. My dad was just out of the Navy, and there was a lot of feel good moments with nostalgia. Towards the end of the movie, I listened to some of the cues that he was saying. My daughter and I can say that movie back and forth, do the whole movie line by line. I have an autographed script
Oh, okay, cool.
from all of the characters that I've bought like probably 25 years ago. Big fan, but I don't know if Days of Thunder would be like that. Wasn't one of my like. Oh man, that's. I mean, if they could do something, do cocktail or some shit like that. I
I
don't know.
know. I mean,
But you know, he wastes his time with the Mission Impossible, and I think those are trash in my opinion. Like I'm not a big fan of those.
no, and I saw the new one, and the new one, it wasn't that it was bad, because people are going to pan me that, it's not that it was bad, but it was a bunch of basically it was the greatest hits. It was a bunch of clips of all the different ones, looking
Oh.
back. It was like, he was constantly looking back and so it kept showing clips of all the different other movies and everything, I'm like, so it was all right.
I mean,
listen,
my favorite character in that movie is Ving Rhames, so the bald-headed black guy. I mean,
Yep.
he's my favorite character in all of those, and I already know on a Mission Impossible he's gonna be in a motorcycle. He's gonna do like so. Big Tom Cruise fan, but I don't know about Days of Thunder. So we'll see what the F1 movie comes out and how it plays out too. But I'm not gonna. I'll wait for it to come in whatever, and then I'll watch it there. I will tell you, the go-to movie that I actually did enjoy was Accountant 2. Have you seen the first one?
So I did see the first one. I haven't seen the second one though yet.
It's
So
on Prime.
I
It's on Prime
okay,
for free.
Cool. I have Prime, so that's good.
Funny, good. Like I think better than the first one. I'm surprised that it went to Prime, like video direct. But I guess the box office, they're just hurting for money. So I mean, nowadays,
how is not Ben, but who the guy that plays his brother in Accountant 2? He was in Walking Dead, and yeah, he's in. I've never been a huge fan of him. He's in he played. He's in The Walking Dead. He played Shane in The Walking Dead. He played Punisher, and I was just never a massive fan of him.
Did he play Punisher? He did.
Yeah, he played in the TV show against.
The TV show. And he also was in Wolf of Wall Street too. He was the money guy. He's good in this movie. Really good.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. I didn't love him in Walking Dead, but it's TV.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. I have definitely been watching a lot of Mobland. It's a great TV flick. It's with the English guy. He's the guy's worked Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the preview.
Yeah, that show is super good. If any of you, the audience, wants something to watch, definitely watch that movie. It has the older lady from Yellowstone, 1932.
Oh, Helen Mirren.
Yep. And it also has the old English guy. I'm not good with actor names, but he used to be James Bond. Pierce Brosnan is in it.
Brosnan, yeah.
Yep. Very good show. A lot of suspensions. One of those shit. And another one I've been watching is Murder Robot.
Oh, I saw the preview for that one. Yeah, Murder Robot. Yeah.
It's short. It's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's probably 20 minutes because of commercials. It's pretty funny. I like that actor in it. It's corny.
I like the fact that it's short. Then I'll have to check it out because I'm always looking for good stuff that I can watch while I'm on the elliptical or on the treadmill. And so, and sometimes an hour is too long. So
20 minutes. I think they're 25 minutes or something.
That's a good time. That's good.
That's a good one. What else have we been?
Stacy and I stumbled across, and it's been out for a while. It's on season 7 now. It just got renewed for season 8. We stumbled upon it, and we love it. The Rookie with it's a guy. Oh God, what is the actor's name? Anyway, he's been in a bunch of stuff, Firefly back in the day and everything. But Nathan Fillion, and he was a contractor, and then got through a divorce, and then decided in his he's in the mid 40s. Decided to become a cop and went to the academy and became an LA cop. And it's called The Rookie. And it's literally a lot of action, but a lot of comedy. It's just a great, well-written show.
Okay.
I think it was an ABC show, which now it's on Disney channel. And so we're halfway through season 7. I mean, we've been binging it for the last 3 months, and we're pretty much through it now.
Okay. I have seen this.
Yeah,
but there's a couple other cop shows that are pretty good as well. There's that one, Bosco.
Yeah.
Another good one. Again,
Bosco or Bosch?
Bosch. That's
Bosch.
it.
Yeah, Bosch is very good. Yes.
Been out for a while. Yeah, there's a lot of there's one that's actually really good. It's on Netflix, I believe. I know it feels like this is a TV episode that
That's
we're
okay.
talking about.
We're talking what we
There's
want to talk about.
one. It's about the Australian outback, and it's kind of like Yellowstone,
Okay.
but it's dealing with the Aborigines and the farmers, and it has a guy in there. He was in Longwood. I don't know if you ever saw or Longmire.
Longmire.
He's that actor.
Okay.
Good show, one season. It did feel a little bit similar to Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie. They just came out with one season. I liked it just because of the accents and also just the different scenery. But
I'm the
yeah,
same way. I watch a lot of British television just because I like the change in the way people talk.
yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
we've been watching a lot of. Other than that, just been kind of, so damn hot. Like I know James, in case you don't have to deal with it, but if
No,
any of the listeners are in Florida, you do all that you can do just to stay cool.
it's brutal.
Yeah. I don't know if you mow your grass, but I don't mow my grass anymore.
No.
We used to, but I see these guys when I'm driving somewhere to go out, like I don't know, on a Saturday, and I'm like, oh my god, you're mowing your grass at like 1 o'clock. What are you nuts? Or are they mowing it like 4 or 5? That's the hottest. Like people don't realize noon is not the hottest time of the day. It's 4 and 5 because the ground has already been saturated with heat. And I'm just looking at these guys going, oh God, thank God I don't do this anymore.
I didn't even tell you guys. So 2 weekends ago, I was at a Cars and Coffee, and because I try to go to Cars and Coffees on the weekends when I can, even when it's hot. But I ran into a guy, met a guy named James, super nice guy. He's got a 914, and he goes, and I was talking to him about him because I aspire to have one at some point in time, even though I'm an idiot for wanting one. Who goes out and buys a 50-year-old car, but I guess I do. And he goes, well, you want to drive it? I'm like, dude, I'd love to. I've never driven one. And it was okay. I mean, the gearbox is very difficult because you're dealing with a dog leg first. It's a 901 transmission, so they are not precise at all. I mean, you're trying to shift in a second, you're shifting in a fourth. So it definitely was going to take time. But the one thing I noticed the most is that they're not air conditioned. No, I mean,
Volkswagen.
They made a bunch. They didn't make a bunch. They made, for 7 years or whatever. So there's a fair amount of them, but literally only about 30% of them were made with air conditioning. And the ones that do have air conditioning, it doesn't really work anyway.
No,
so the majority of them,
it's just like a Volkswagen. I mean,
the majority you find are there's no AC. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm driving this thing, and literally within 15 minutes, I got out. Of course, the seats are black vinyl. I was fucking just drenched, and I'm like, fuck, we're in Florida, man. I'm going to buy this thing and literally be able to drive it 4 months out of the year. Yeah. So I'm
mean,
not
even
saying,
I will tell you, or my G body, it has AC, right?
Right.
So I've spent so much money on the air conditioning, but the window's so big, it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
You can go out of your garage, turn on the AC. It keeps it at that temperature that it was, and it's a little cool. But if you go anywhere and you park in the sun, you're never getting it cool again, because it just, now I know there's upgrades that you can do, but it's just the windows, and I'm not gonna like tint my windows like blacked out on an old classic car. Not that I'm gonna be like that guy that's like, oh, look at me, I'm driving it. No, I just don't want. And I know you can buy Expel and all this other stuff, but it's not. And I have leather seats in the one car, and then this car is cloth. But James and a lot of the other guys, I mean, that's why we all go to North Carolina and Virginia and stuff and drive these, because it's hot. And have you ever noticed driving, like especially in Orlando? I'm sure you see it. The only people that are driving their windows down are young kids.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do it if it's early in the morning, like a couple weekends. Actually, it was the same weekend. I was going to Cars and Coffee, so I left my house at like 6:30 in the morning. And it was nice. It was literally 70 degrees. So yeah, well, no, it was like 70. It wasn't horrible yet. And it was a nice drive because it was up in Sanford in my hometown. So it was actually the same one that you got photos from.
Okay.
And so it's one of the rare Cars and Coffees that I can actually get to taking all back roads. I don't have to take the highway. So it was a very nice drive. So I had the windows down and the sunroof open. Coming home though, fuck it. It was like 110, man. I'm like, no, AC cranking.
Yeah, and I can't stand the smell.
Yeah.
Of the road. It has that sour exhaust, and you get out of the car. I mean, it's bad enough when I come home and sometimes I smell like machine oil.
Mhm.
I have to and it's in the air. So we have fans that are circulating, and there's air conditioning in there as well. But we just have fans. Even like when I was in Cape Coral, I was dropping off some parts, some metal parts, and grabbing those parts and touching them, and then smelling my hand, that rust metal smell. Maybe
Mhm.
because I'm so, I don't know. And my wife's like, "What's that smell?" Even my daughter's like, "You smell like
Like
one of my."
iron. Yeah.
Yes, iron. And she's
Like
like, "You smell
iron.
like one of one of my employees," which that's all he does as well and stuff. Not that he
Mhm.
stunk, but he just smells like metal,
Yeah.
and it like exudes out of your skin. And I was like, "Oh my god, I got to take a shower." And I like,
Mhm.
um, yeah, there's quite a lot of smells when you're working on machining
Yep.
parts, like the aluminum, the oil, the metal. I mean, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sure people are like, "Yeah, you're a bitch," but
So I'm not saying I'm not gonna get a 914, but it definitely made me rethink it.
it was an eye opener, wasn't it?
It
Though.
was, because in my brain, I know that they don't have AC, but also I know that I take the trike out, and of course but you have a lot more airflow when you're on the back of a
But do you
trike
take
than
the
you do.
trike out a lot? Because I know you guys wear full riding gear,
Mm-hmm.
which is for safety.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing that too much during the summertime. You're
Not
taking
too much
out
during the summertime. No,
October,
spring and
November,
yeah.
December, right?
Yeah, basically from mid-September all the way through. I mean, we'll ride through the winter because with gear on, it's not horribly cold, and it's Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So from September through April, May, before it really starts getting hot.
Yeah.
And the
I mean, when was the
914 would be
last
the
time you
same.
took that out, the Can-Am out?
Actually, just a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we take them out at least once a month. Even
Okay.
in the summertime, we'll do a short ride in the mornings. She still enjoys it. So at this point right now, I'm not saying I'm not going to sell it. I probably still will. But it doesn't cost me anything. I mean, the insurance is $18 a month, so all
Yeah.
paid for. So
And even we were, me and my wife were talking about, like, we were, I don't know where we were at. And she's like, "Oh, do you miss selling your boat?" And I'm like, or our boat? And I said, "No, I don't.
Mhm.
Not at all." Like, I see these guys on boats, and the sun's just beating on them, and I don't know. Like, I'm one of those guys that on the weekend I either want to catch up on my sleep because I'm working so much,
Mhm.
or I want to sit in air conditioning, just drink and talk to people, and
Converse.
converse, talk
Yeah.
to people, or like talk to someone at the bar, meet new people. I'm not. I know we went to a place in Homosassa called
Mhm.
Stumps this weekend. Very nice on the water. Um, I took the GT3 out. Found some cool roads. So I definitely found some nice, cool roads that we can go on. A lot of elevation changes for Florida. I mean, they were like, if I was hauling ass, probably going 80, 90 miles per hour, I think I would have caught some air on some of these.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. I didn't drive too fast just because I have
Well,
PTSD. Yeah,
and
well,
Mama gets sick. So
yeah, and not to say that she would have, because she only gets
right.
sick on the Dragon Tail, but I wanted to kind of cruise and just
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
yeah. So
Um,
uh,
so you brought up a good point. I had a thought I was going to say. It escaped me. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Um,
hot
yeah,
cars.
whatever. Well, no, we were talking about cars, and we were talking about you were talking about the trip. I don't know. I had a thought and it left me. It's no big deal. So
Yeah, so that's pretty much. I know everybody. I mean, summertime is pretty slow for I think a lot of racing, other than Formula One and NASCAR, naturally. But I don't know what's going on with the car industry. I will tell you this: my friend that I do business with, he is getting a Tesla. I think I mentioned it before. He's getting a Tesla truck.
you did tell me this. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, he actually sent me a text message yesterday and said, "Hey, I get the truck on Saturday. If I drop off and I leave back for Miami on Monday, can I drop the car off to you and you take it to get it wrapped?" I'm like, "What the fuck am I? Your assistant? No. Like, it's Father's Day weekend, and
Right.
no, like, have you even called the guy to find out, like, if they even have availability? Do they have room for the car? Do they even have the vinyl that you want? Like, the fuck am I?" So, but I did tell him, "Hey, if you need me to take you to the airport on Monday, I'll do that, and I'll drop the car off. I will be out of town come Wednesday, but You'll have to pick it up when you come back into town, but you need to call the guy. Once we get off this podcast, I'll actually send him a text message and ask him, did you even call the guy? I'm sure he didn't, but I will have access to that car, or truck or whatever you want to call it. And I think I'm going to like it.
I'm going to be interested to see your real impressions on how you like it. He's
coming from a Ford Raptor. So he's had 2 Ford Raptors. His wife does have a Porsche Taycan turbo, which she doesn't drive a lot because she travels all over the world. I think she's in India right now. But I think I would like it because of why he likes it. And it's for the fact that he went to the dealership and they said, hey, drive 40 minutes away and say, take me back to the Tesla dealership and do not touch the steering wheel. If you can do it. And it took him, he goes, Kevin, I was driving it and it took me down streets. There was kids playing on the side of the streets. There was a kid on a scooter, a kid on a bicycle. It took me all these back roads, whatever the quickest way was. And I didn't have to do anything. And I had to force myself.
I don't know if I could do it, dude.
I know. And that's what the sales guy said.
I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. My brain, I know.
Yes. And he goes, it was very hard, but he goes, I literally was like, okay, I'm going to see and he kept on saying he wanted to grab the steering wheel. And he said, man, it was freaking awesome. And then at that point he goes, God, imagine all the things, because he makes a drive now he flies a lot, but from Tampa to Miami. Mm-hmm. So every weekend he's going to Miami for his job. So he lives in Tampa. He finally said, hey, you have to do a plane trip. But with the travel, he's one of those guys that shows up to the airport and they're like, last call, and he shows up. The guy travels so much. I think for him, he needs to get something like that so he can actually do work. Mm-hmm. Now, is that the safest thing to do? Well,
no, because but it's not full self-driving. It's not a geofenced real full self-driving. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but at the end of the day, if you were to get in an accident, they're going to tell you this is not full self-driving.
But I think with him, it's more of conference calls and looking on his phone to look at things.
I understand that.
And he's driving from Alligator Alley. I mean, come on, we've taken that drive. It's a boring drive, right?
It's like going down I-10 across Florida. It's
and you go in a slow lane. You can do your thing and still okay, talk on the phone. Opposed to my main thing is taking your hand off the steering wheel and the car wants to veer. Mm-hmm. But imagine if you can still be looking at the road, but looking down, looking back up, looking down on your phone. And using your phone, because unfortunately I do text when I'm driving, which I know you shouldn't be. Now that you told me about that thing where you plug your phone into the car, mm-hmm. the Magic Jack on my 4Runner, I can go ahead and tell Siri to reply to the text. So I don't know. I'll see.
Did you end up getting one for the 4Runner? Did you get one?
Yes, I did. I got one for Christmas.
And it works good, man. I broke down and bought one for the 911. They had a sale on Amazon, and I didn't have one yet. And I had CarPlay before, but I had to plug it in.
But how did you have an aftermarket stereo?
I do have an Alpine unit in the 911. I hate it. I'm going to break down probably. I told Stacy, I said, listen, don't give me a Father's Day gift. Don't give me a birthday gift. Just wait. Don't give me an anniversary gift. And then at Christmas, get me the PCCM plus whatever the Porsche branded one.
Okay, so I know everyone likes that, but have you really looked at the size of the screen's this big, man. It's
no, not the one for mine's the one for the 997. Yes, you're right. For G bodies, it's small. It's 7-inch. It's big. They make a new one. They make one. They have 3 models now. They have the small one, which is a single din for the G bodies, and the 914s, 912s, whatever, air cooled stuff. Then they have a big double din
you
unit
do have a big
for
one.
the 996.
No pun intended.
Right, and then they have a new big one for the 997. And it's the same size as the Alpine unit I have, so I'm not going to gain anything there except for the fact that the Alpine unit, and I think it has something to do with the fiber optic stuff, even though I have the adapters and everything, the Bluetooth in my car absolutely sucks. And when I drive the 911 to work, which is not a lot, maybe once a week or once every other week, but inevitably, I'm on the phone my entire drive in and drive out. And so I've gotten to the point now where when I take a phone call, I have to put in my earbud so I can actually hear, because the Bluetooth just works really shitty.
Okay.
Everything else works great. The radio works great. The CarPlay as far as maps and everything, all that function is phenomenal. Just the Bluetooth functionality of phone calls suck with the Alpine unit. And since this one's made by Porsche Classic, it should be very good. So
yeah,
that's why I'm
everyone
change.
that I've seen, even for the G bodies, they say that they love them. I know I'm looking for it on our group chat. Did we talk about the new, was it Pioneer that came out? Were you on that conversation? So I'm noticing that a lot of people are doing retro radios. Yes, I think we did talk about this. So the new retro radio is the Pioneer cassette deck.
Oh, we did talk about that. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, because I
Yes.
said
So
it doesn't
it's
have the real cassette, and you're like, bitch, who's using real cassettes anyway?
Yeah. So it's the SXT-C10PS. Guys, look it up. It looks like kind of like the Alpine. You can change to the orange or the green buttons. It looks like it has a tape deck in it, but you flip it open and actually, I think it has a USB. Looks like the 80s DIN unit.
Yep.
Super cool. I thought about actually, Bluetooth, all that fun stuff. Thought about getting it 4x50 watts max. Looks pretty neat. It is a little pricey. I think it's like $460 compared to the Continental one that's like, I don't know, 100 and something bucks. Right. That looks like the old Blaupunk. But it's basically something that you would find stock like in a BMW E36 or a Mercedes 190E. Really, really cool. And you can change the colors. I think you can change it from orange to the green.
I love it. Remember back in the 90s, the Pioneer units, they would have the little dot matrix screens, and they would have, like the dolphin or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, that's so good. Or I was a Kenwood guy, so I had multiple Kenwood units, and it would be the blank screen, like the plastic screen, and when you'd crank up the car, it would go and it would turn around. Instead of having, I was like, oh man, I was a
this
big
one
audio guy.
Supposed to be more of the Alpine style that was like in the Lamborghinis and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought about pulling the trigger, but again, it would be for a G body. So I do listen to the radio. Like I know James and Casey said, "Oh, we listen to our cars." No, I listen to the radio. It's techno. That's all I'm listening to. It gets me in the mood to like drive faster or like just I don't know, kind of escape from everything. And if my wife's in the car, hey, I'm listening to Journey or something that we can kind of sing along to. I do a lot of dancing or lip singing in the car just to make her laugh. So
we do. We listen to. Listen, I'm a Florida redneck, so I listen to a lot of. When Stacy's in the car, we listen to mostly country because that's what she likes, and I would group on country, not a big deal. I'm listening
like
to
old country.
90s, 2000s. I mean,
so
some
Garth
of the new
Brooks,
stuff's not
Tim
bad.
McGraw,
stuff like that. Yeah. So we're listening to mostly that. I have the Durango. I still have the free subscription to the Sirius until it runs out. I don't know that I'll renew it, only because I use Apple Music most of the time.
Right.
But they have a couple of stations on there that's like 90s, 2000s country. So that's typically what we listen to. But if it's just me. Yeah, exactly. But if it's just me in the car, I'm usually listening to some sort of EDM or dance music or whatever.
In fact, I was actually going to send you I was on Spotify a couple of days ago, and they had a track from half of the track was from Firestone, and the other track was from The Edge with Huda Hudia and Rabbit in the Moon and
freaking awesome.
All these, I was like, oh, I got to send this, and Aaron was like, Matt knows about this music. I'm like, if you lived in Orlando, and our age, we knew about Firestone and The Edge. Like everybody knew, even if you didn't go, you've been there at least one time, right? So I was like,
I ever tell you about the story? I was at Firestone for a Mighty Mighty Boss Stones concert back when ska first started becoming big, and I lost my damn shoe in the mosh pit. Never found it. I had to walk back to the car wearing one fucking shoe. So yeah, I never found my shoe. So
And I didn't even realize that the edge was where Ace Cafe is.
yeah,
Because how I remember being with the trees,
mm-hmm.
and you go out there and like, I don't know, people smoke pot or, trip or do whatever the hell they want to do. I don't remember now. It's, it's clear and it's a parking lot, but I just remember, you see the freeway there, but back then it was dark and it was like nothing but trees there. So I do remember the building, but I mean, it was kind of a blur. I mean,
it was the edge. And then when it closed down, company bought it and it turned into 8 Seconds, which was
the rodeo place.
Right. And that was our hangout. So, I mean, I met Stacy in 94. No, I graduated in 94. So it would have been probably 96. Stacy and I got together and then we got married in 98. So yeah. So, I mean, that was peak 8 Seconds and all that stuff, so we were going to country bars like every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, spent a ton of time there. So that's why we listen to so much country.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was a great place. And then of course that went out of business and it was a couple other things after that. It was actually a newspaper for a while before Ace Cafe opened up, which speaking of Ace Cafe, that closed.
They're moving to Sanford, right?
To Sanford, right. So where there's a food hall in Sanford called Henry's Depot. That's where that Cars and Coffee is that I go to. The same guy that owns that is the one opening right next door the new Ace Cafe. And it should be open by August, it'll be open. Huh. So it'll be cool. And it's a much more pleasant drive from my house to there than it is all the way out to downtown, and a better venue. I think. I think they're going to get a better turnout there. Not that, I mean, downtown, the problem with Ace Cafe, and I don't know this is why they closed, but it was always packed. Always packed.
It was always
for events. Always packed. But I don't know. All those people were in the parking lot. You'd go inside to go to the bathroom. Food. No, it would be vacant inside. So they'd be in the parking lot hanging out, whatever for the car events or the bike events or everything going on. But they never bought anything. You go inside to take a piss or whatever, and it's just empty. You'd have maybe 5 tables filled.
I did eat the food there a couple times. Wasn't the best, but I don't remember if it was pricey. But you know what? I think at that point, hey, you charge the people, hey, $5 to come in, use your parking lot if they're not going to buy stuff. Or we have a good friend on, James has a friend. He has Cars and Cappuccinos. I mean, it's a membership. So, and I know that building, man, I remember that building took a long time to get up and running because of all the historical preservation and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be the same thing at Sanford because let's face it, Sanford is a sleepy town.
It is. I mean, I will tell you though, it is having a resurgence. There is a ton. I mean, it's really hopping as far as bars, and it's almost turning into, I'm not going to say it's St. Augustine, but it's very St. Augustine-esque. I mean, there's a lot of, different bars and restaurants.
Where is
and everything
that? Because I go to Sanford every Friday, and I go off of Airport Road, which is the hood.
Right. No, you got to go downtown. So when I say downtown, First Street. First Street is all cobblestone, brick street. And it was our downtown when I was a kid. And there's the clock tower there and all that kind of stuff. The library's there. But and it's literally all just bars and restaurants. There's a massive, Hollerbox, a massive German bar and German restaurant there. Amazing food.
I see that sign on I-4.
Yeah. So I mean, there's lots of little places, but you got to go to First Street. And that's where Ace Cafe will be, right there on First Street. That's where Henry's Depot is and all this other stuff. So it's a cool little town.
And hopefully, like, I know the people that are listening are like, oh, you guys are talking about Florida. So we can transition. I know you've been sending me a lot of stuff on Seiko watches. So you've made quite a bit of Seiko watches so far. Tell us a little bit about that. And also you've sent me some things I just saw about the 62 Moss resurgence and I started dabbling in making watches only because I'm always looking for everyone that listening knows that all of us have kind of stressful jobs and we're working, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. Well, maybe not pop, but we the rest of us do. And
And so I'm always looking for creative outlets. That's why I do this podcast. I'm looking for things that takes my mind off of the day-to-day operations of my business, because if not, I would just be doing that 24/7 and driving my entire family crazy. And so I like being, I'm not going to say artistic, but I like doing things with my hands. I'm not a wrench. I'm not pulling my motor and doing stuff like that, like Casey does, but I always do the cosmetics. That's why, I do all my interior and stuff. I like doing that kind of thing. And so I said, you know what? I have all these watches. I enjoy watches. I want to learn how to make a fucking watch. Simple as that. Stacy bought me a kit on how to like start doing some servicing. I started that, and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy all these parts and just assemble them myself. It can't be that difficult. And watched a bunch of YouTube videos and started doing it. And so that parlayed into, I threw some things up, and a couple guys, that green watch that I made with the brass case,
which was
said,
hot.
hey,
Like, loved it,
yeah,
loved the look. Yes.
Finally, the rotors got here yesterday. So I'm going to make 5 of those. One's already spoken for. I'm going to sell the other 4 as well. But a buddy of mine that I've known for a long time reached out to me via Instagram and said, hey, listen, I had a son last year. This is my very first Father's Day. Would you make matching watches for me and my dad? Because I want to give my dad a Seiko watch, and I want a watch to commemorate my first Father's Day. I said, dude, I'd be honored. Absolutely. So him and I went back and forth. I let him pick everything: the case, the dial. I said, if you're going to do Seiko, then obviously I need to use an NH35 movement if you want just a regular date. And so
these are all automatics, right?
They're all automatics. Yeah, I only make automatics. So far, Casey keeps getting on me about wanting to do a chronograph, and I can do that, but you can't. Like, all the movements I can find are either mecha quartz, whether either mecha quartz or quartz chronographs. When or solar. Like, I can get the movement that Seiko uses for their speed timers, but it's still a mecha quartz. It's a solar power, but it's I can get those. But to get a real automatic chronograph movement, I have to go Swiss, and they're like $280 for the movement alone.
You can't buy on the secondary market a Seiko. Why is it that they make the date time but not a quartz in abundance?
I don't know. I don't know.
So my next question is,
I mean, I can buy the quartz movements from Seiko. I can buy all those movements. I can buy them. I just I like using automatics, and I haven't found.
No, I'm saying an automatic one. So my next question is,
Seiko doesn't make I looked. I don't think Seiko makes a chronograph fully automatic watch right now.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, because all of our stuff is old.
Right, yours is old. Currently, like current production, all their chronographs are the speed timers, and they're solar. So I don't think they currently make them. I could be wrong, but I don't think they currently have a movement that they manufacture for resale that is fully automatic and a chronograph.
So if any of our listeners know, hit us up on YouTube or
let me know.
Whiskey Watches
and where Instagram, I can buy it. I would love to build a chronograph. I want to use it.
Or at least the model number, and then I'm sure you can find it.
100%.
Okay, so you're doing this. Is the next thing going to be taking apart an old watch, all in pieces, putting it back together?
100%. So my wife and I enjoy going to garage sales and flea markets. We'll do that on the weekends. And so I just haven't found, when I'm going to flea markets and garage sales, all I've been able to find so far is like just garbage. Yeah, yes. It's Invictas, or it's Michael Kors, or it's nothing good. But if I can find a good find, Seiko, I don't care if it's trashed.
So why don't you look on eBay?
Yeah, I can. I haven't gone that route.
Get yourself like a 3158 or something like that. That's actually going to be now. The only thing that you will probably have to invest in is a ultrasonic.
That's the only thing I don't have yet. So I need to get an ultrasonic. I know you would ask me if I check the depth rating on these watches. And so I do have a compression, I forget what they call it, depth thingy. But the problem is that when you buy a watch from a mainstream manufacturer,
they put in a sealer, don't they?
They put in a sealer, and it is, they can test it up to 20 bar. Okay. Right. A do-it-yourselfer can't.
How do they know? How do they do that?
So here's the thing. Well, the one that I have, you literally have a small tank and you fill it with water, and it has a little hook at the top. All right, and it's a lid, and you take the watch off the band and you hang it from the hook, and then you put the lid on it, and then it has a pump, and you can pressurize the chamber up to 5 bars. All right,
if it leaks, oops.
Well, here's the thing. So here's how you know. So you go through, you pressurize it up to 5 bars, and then you lower the watch down into the water. Okay. If you start seeing bubbles coming out, like you're going to see a couple here and there from the seal, but if you start seeing a stream of bubbles coming out, that's air escaping the watch. So as soon as you see that, hey, I got a leak somewhere. So you raise it up, and so because the air's come out, but water hasn't been allowed to go in yet. So you raise it up.
Okay.
So then you're like, okay, then you take it back out. You got to check your seals, check your gasket, make sure everything's good. And then you can redo that until you don't have a stream of bubbles. Luckily, so far, everything I put together, I've never encountered where I've had a stream of bubbles. So we're good. Yeah. And the reality is, and I tell everybody, I even told Pete, the guy that bought the 2 from me, because he asked me about that. I said, listen, I tested to 5 bars. That being said, keep in mind, this is not, this is a Seiko.
It's not a dive watch. It's not a dive watch.
This is a Seiko in the aspect of it's all Seiko parts. That being said, it's not manufactured by Seiko. It's a bespoke, hand-built watch. Washing your hands, stuff like that, you'll have no issues whatsoever. Yeah, no issues whatsoever. I wouldn't take it diving, or even going to the pool with it. Take it off, But for normal, stuck in the rain, whatever, you're not going to have an issue like you would a vintage watch. I mean, if you get stuck in the rain with a vintage Omega, you're fucked. I mean, they leak like a sieve.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, vintage Omegas leak really badly. There's no gaskets or anything.
Are you putting silicone around your the seal too?
Yeah, not silicone. I have a little,
because they do make silicone, not silicone that you squeeze out of a tube. It's actually silicone for watches. So you take the seal and you
I don't do yes and no. What I have is actually it's right here. It's a lubrication stuff.
Yeah, made in China.
Yes, exactly. Everything's made in China, man. So side track. Thank God they finally signed a deal, and it looks like the tariffs are going to come down to 55%. So maybe some of the stuff will get a little more affordable. But it's basically
what are this our tariffs going to be? Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, ours is 55%, and stuff going into China will be 10%. So, but at least it's going from 145 down to 55.
So coming out
of China.
It's 55%.
Will be 55%. Yeah. So Chinese stuff coming into the United States will be 55%. Stuff going from U.S. to China will be 10%. But it's at 145 right now. So it's going to go from 145. I'm doing this
build just to let you guys know too. I'm doing a build. And we just got some GRZ struts, RS Pros, and 37.5%, just to let you guys know. Yeah. So my client got a discount because he's athlete, and he just got a bill for, even though they gave him a discount on it, they put retail on the part, $2,500 was his duties.
Well, I mean, the little tiny rotors. I mean, I've been wanting to make these green face watches for a while with the bronze case. I ordered the parts to make 5 of them. Most of the parts came in fairly quickly. The damn custom, because I'm a hardhead and I have an exhibition back on it and I want it to look really pretty. So I had these custom made rotors, which normally was like $23 a piece. They were like almost $60 a piece, these rotors.
Yeah.
And it took me like a month and a half to get them here.
And look, like, not to get into political, but as a manufacturer, China is not paying these. This is the strategy. The president charges the tariffs to put a strain on us. Therefore, we do not place orders. So therefore, I'm not placing orders. Manufacturers are not placing orders. Therefore, their economy suffers. That's the bargaining. Because I personally am paying, we all are personally paying the tariffs. That's how this is working. Chinese is not paying the tariffs. We're paying the tariffs. And by doing so, we're not going to order any parts or goods. Therefore, China hurts. And that's the bargaining. We'll see how long it plays out. I am definitely seeing it. I'm seeing it in not so much metal, even though they said that most of the metal here, most of it comes from America. The stuff that I buy, anyways, especially with 6061 T6, it's aircraft grade, anyways. So I'm not seeing too much. It is gone up, but the shitty thing is what I'm seeing, unfortunately, is that my vendors, a lot of vendors are using it as a scapegoat. Like, oh, tariffs. It's made in America. What do you mean tariffs? Like, no. But then you'll get some smart guys that go, oh, yeah, well, it's because of supply and demand. Oh, okay, well, just tell me that it's supply and demand. You don't have enough to go around, so you got to raise the price. So you're doing these watches. Back to the, we'll go circle around back to it.
Yeah.
I know you have to get a special ultrasonic cleaner, the one with the little. What do those run? Have you looked into them?
I have. You can get an ultrasonic, a basic one, probably similar to what, because you have one, right?
Yeah, but mine's for carburetors and stuff. The ones I've seen have canisters these little canisters that
but they're still not bad. They're a couple $100. I mean, they're not. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not like it's a couple $100. Whereas to give you an idea, the thing for like I can get a thing that goes to 20 bar for the testing of the thing, but they're like $9,000. Yeah. So whereas the one that I bought was like $140.
But you can get a ultrasonic cleaner for watches.
Correct. Yep. Okay. Yep, they make them. Yeah, they make them.
Not for like jewelry. And then you have to get watches. Do you have the tool to like
I have all the tools except for pressing of the glass. Because so far everything that I've ever purchased on new, the glass is already pre-installed. It's already pressed. So
and that's only going to be if you're going to start servicing, which is where the real money's at.
Yeah. Yeah. And full transparency, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this as a hobby, but I got to a point where Stacy's like, you should sell those. And I'm like, well, I'm not really trying to sell stuff. She goes, no, but she goes, do you enjoy building watches? I said, absolutely. She goes, how many more fucking watches do you need? Because I'm literally gone through 2 boxes. I'm going to have to get another watch box. I have like 50 watches now. She goes, keep making them, but then just sell them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you enjoy making them, make them and then sell them. She goes, I'm not saying you got to make 1,000 of them. She goes, if you build one on the weekend and put it up, either have a buyer or put it up for sale, and when you should do that. And she's not wrong. So
you're putting I see you're putting the protective casing. You put them in a box.
Yeah, I bought everything. I mean, all that stuff was fairly inexpensive. I want people to think that. I mean, I'm not building trash. I'm proud of what I'm building. So I want them to feel like they're getting something like they bought it from a store. So they're brand new parts wrapped in plastic, just like anything else. I bought the watch boxes, and so when you get it, you're going to get it in a full watch box, just like you bought it from the store.
And they say, hey, the devil's in the details. I mean, sometimes I know it's all about presentation. Like I just ended up spending $1,600 on. So my first business, I have a skin machine. So you put the parts in, the skin comes down, and on the back of that, it's our graphics for our parts. For asphalt killers, I put stickers, made in America sticker. It's kind of a pain in the ass to like put the stickers, place the part in. They don't line up all the time. And since I'm so OCD, it kind of has been bothering me. So I finally bit the bullet to actually buy the plate, because I got to buy a plate now and do the press. So now I'll have my own backing with the logo and the website and Made in America and all that stuff to do my skins on that board, to buy 1,000 of these that are just gonna but it's all about presentation, right? Like
100%.
I see so many parts that are like, wow, yeah, I can make that. Okay, but the box is just, and I will tell you this, I just purchased. Actually, I'm gonna get it. Let me take off my earphone. Let me see. I'm gonna show you guys something because it's pretty impressive. I think it's pretty impressive, but let me get it. Hold on.
Please do. Yeah.
Talk amongst yourself. It's just right here.
He's got it.
All right. So
what you got?
This part, I'm going to give a shout out to these guys. RS Pro.
Okay.
So JRZ Suspension makes high-end suspension, but they do not make a clamp for the reservoir. So where you got to put your reservoir, you can't just like zip tie them. So it's a thin box, nothing special, pretty inexpensive. They put these came in a bag, but what I did like is like the little box has like a little thing that says like, I'll show it to you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah,
See if
yeah.
I can zoom in.
Uh-huh.
They probably did this, at their shop because I don't know if maybe there says lift here.
Yeah.
Then you have the little piece in here, and then it says lift here. But they're not a big company. I don't think they're a big company because a lot of their stuff was on back order. But I just looked at it. I was like, oh, this is a pretty
Good packaging.
good packaging.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cheap. Yes, I can make this part for sure. I don't even know if it's made in America, but it looks pretty good. And I was like, wow, I'm really impressed with this packaging that it came in. And it's sometimes, it's all about this, like
It
the
is.
packaging.
I know we've talked about this offline.
Like wrong side up on this. I mean, made. Oh, so this says made here. Yeah, the part's probably made here, and it says GRZ, JRZ, JRZ. Yeah, it's and he even put in a box that, hey, thank you for your. I was impressed as a manufacturer myself. I was like, wow, this costs money though.
It does. It's not inexpensive to make that stuff, unless you're doing 10,000 of them, and a lot of times bespoke units like that are not. It's tough. I have visions in my brain of watches and things that I want to create, but at the end of the day, I'm limited to what I can find part wise online. So eventually, I want to get to where I can make my own dials, and my own and things of that nature. I really want to make a chronograph. And we see these, we're all drawn to those chronographs that we see from like the 70s. It's got the different colors, the three dials. It's got like, split colors and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to make something like that, but you can't find those dials anywhere online or even similar to that. It's not that the ones that you can buy are ugly, but they're basic. They're white with blue dials or blue with white or different colors.
Now, is your hand steady enough that you can start hand painting some of these with enamel?
I think I don't know. I think
like
airbrushing, yes.
So, but you see like mine that I have. I have the custom one that I had what has kind of like the little dots of the different colors.
Yeah.
That was all like hand done. The hands were probably spray painted.
Yep. And that's what I'm going to get. You can get, I'm going to get like, actually went to the hobby shop over the weekend, over in the model section, because you can get the air sprayers that are made for like painting models. And because you can buy the dial blanks, they're just stamped steel. And then you just sand them down and you paint them.
Different color hands.
You can buy, I have drawers of different hands that I bought in bulk, just in case, because I always buy extra hands because when you're putting a watch together, that's the longest part is the hands as far as time wise, because you're trying to press those on there, and the metal is so thin. I use basically it's like clay. It's called Rotoco, and I stick the end of it in there, and I'm trying to use that to get down, and then try to you can't put too much pressure because you'll bend the hand.
Now, do they make a machine for that? They
do have a machine for it, but I don't know really how it, like right now I'm still doing it by hand with the hand tools, which it's still hand seating tools, but you do it by hand. They do have a press for it, but I don't know how accurate it is. I mean, maybe it is, I'm not sure. And maybe one day I'll break down and get that, but right now I'm still doing it by hand, but it takes time. And especially the second hand is the worst one because it's a little tiny stem that has a seat down into a itty bitty teeny tiny hole. And if you one wrong move and you bend it. So I always keep especially extra second hands. That way, if I need to change one out or I bend it when I'm putting it together, I have extras. I'm not waiting.
And I know they're like either aluminum or tin. The other thing you guys you can look at it too is maybe doing laser etching. Laser.
I've looked at that too. I've looked at maybe getting an engraver because ultimately I would like to be able to. My end goal, there's value in the Seiko name, and that's why Seiko mods are so popular. And people want, because when someone buys even a modded Seiko, it's got Seiko on it. There's name recognition there. They know what they're getting. Whereas you buy something unbranded or from a micro brand, they may or may not see a value there. But ultimately, I would love to have my own logo on what I'm building.
But then you would be a modder. Then you would be a
you would be a micro brand at that point.
Micro brand, right?
You know, and some micro brands are going that route. They'll use what they'll do is even if they're using a Seiko movement, they'll just put Japanese movement on there instead of Seiko movement or whatever, just for legality reasons.
So what I have seen is a lot of the people that are modding the Seikos are commanding more money than a micro brand.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. And so
because of brand recognition.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like when my buddy reached out, he goes, "Listen." So I was going through. I spent several hours with him picking out parts, and of course, for legality reasons, when I buy the dials, they don't have the Seiko name on them.
Okay.
But when you go to buy it, it says on there, do you want no logo or do you want an S logo? And that's how they get around it.
Right.
And so when I sent him the photos to approve, he goes, well, hey, will they say Seiko? Because I really want to say Seiko. I said, yeah, it'll say Seiko. I said, they just, for legalities, they can't advertise it, but yes, it will say Seiko. So that was really hit home when I'm like, okay, people really want the Seiko name. So I may just continue just doing mods, which stinks because the 5 dials that I got for the green face one, or like the one I built, there's no logo on it at all, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, even this one, like I bought this Bulova that I think I showed you guys. And I mean, this thing is like, I mean, it glows. But even this one, like I changed the band to Jubilee because I had it like, it really like sets the watch like apart just because, I mean, this had normally a gray band.
It's a great look. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I freaking love this watch. Like, I think I just noticed this. The bezel turns.
Look at that. How about that?
Yeah. So, well, that's
So that's
I'm excited for you.
I'm having fun with. I'm having fun with it. We got a guy that we know. I'm not going to say his name on the air in case you don't want to know, but he's buying one of the green ones from me with the leather band. So I got to build his this weekend, and then I'll build the others. And if someone buys them, great. If not, I'll put them on eBay and sell them there.
So I know you've been sending me a lot of watches too. I'm seeing a lot of resurgence of the old movements. Like you just showed me the one. I mean, the one. So the one that you just sent me a picture of, it was the old. The problem that I see.
Moss.
Yes. So I will tell you, they had the 62 Moss reissue, but they only made 500 of those, and that watch costs as much as a 62 Moss, like an old one. But on this particular one that you showed me the picture of,
So this is not. So what they do is they allude to the 62 Moss in the article, but when you actually read it, this is a reproduction of something that went to NASA. That's why I liked it, because I like the
me too.
The NASA watches. And so this was, I don't know if they even actually say the name of it. But what I liked about it was a lot of these reissues, you're right, they're super expensive. And this thing was only going to be like $695.
Yeah, because there's 9,099. That's, I know they say limited. That's not limited in my eyes.
No.
So I think, people buy
the GMT that I bought from Asia with the salmon dial. They only made 1,000. There was only 1,000 of those, which still isn't ultra limited, but there was only 1,000 made.
Right.
So 1,000. Yeah. So I mean, I'm like number 320 of 1,000 on that particular watch.
And I see Seiko is going off of that. They are using that limited, wording a lot. But yeah, all watches can be limited. But you're doing, I'm only making 10,000 of these. Come on, that's not, in my eyes, a limited watch.
I guess that's why I like the modding thing, because it's not that it's limited, but guess what? It's fucking one of one. I mean, you might find someone else that picked out the same things and it's something similar, but it's going to be one of one. Like this green one that I'm doing with the, you don't see a lot of bronze case watches out there anyway, especially with a leather alligator band and a green Prospex dial. And so it's literally, there's going to be 5 of them. That's it. I'm making 5.
Now, do they make any automatic GMT?
Movements?
That's not. Yes.
Yeah. I can buy the automatic GMT movement. It's a little bit more. So the NH35 is the automatic with just the date.
Yep.
The NH36, I think, is the automatic day date, which I can get that with the Japanese and everything.
Yeah.
I can get the regular, I think it's the NH34 or 37, which is no date at all. And then I can also get the GMT, so I can get all of those. Seiko makes all of those. They sell them. So Seiko has their main division of Seiko. Then on their movements, they call them S2s. And it's the same movement, but the rotor, instead of saying Seiko on it, says S2, and that's their Seiko, or their movement division. So
Okay.
yep. And so yeah, they're all authentic Seiko movements.
And you picked a name already? I know the name, but because I saw it.
Of the watches?
Yes.
Well, I was playing with that name. I don't know that I'll go with that, but I was playing around with.
I like the name.
So I wanted to use a family name, and I really couldn't find anything. So then I was driving home, and as silly as this sounds, but the street that I live on is Thornhill Grand Circle. And I'm like, Thornhill, that'd be kind of a cool name for a watch brand.
So English, like,
yeah, it's very English-esque, and all that. And a logo could be a simple like script T or something, you know. So I'm like, all right. So if I end up going through with it, Thornhill is the current leading name. So we'll see. But yeah, that'll be that. Something we do need to discuss. I mean, we're already an hour and 2 minutes in. Look at you and I just rambled.
I'm not James, and I'm not Casey. No. I don't need to eat. So,
but our boy worked really hard on this thumbnail, so we need to at least talk about it.
Oh, okay. He already did a thumbnail.
Yeah. I did a thumbnail for last week, and then we didn't record, so I still have it. So one thing that I threw up that I thought was cool, you start seeing more of these retro future designs. AI has been off the hook, and I go into Facebook and I see, people are using AI to create, future designs of cars and stuff. And I thought, man, what would be from a discontinued model? It can be any era, but a car that is not made today, what would you like to see a new iteration of? For instance, for me, like I would love to see a new version of like a 914. Yes, people can argue that the Boxster is a mid-engine or the Cayman's a mid-engine Porsche, but neither of them are
give it the same lines, give it a small, almost like a Miata-ish, low budget.
Yeah, and make it
with
a Targa.
AC
and a Targa, make it a Targa, not a convertible. So like a modern version of a 914, I think would be cool. So I had, I didn't know if you have anything that you would like to see done, but let's hear, because I got a laundry list. I have like 12 of them.
What's some other ones?
So I thought, 914. I would love to see Volkswagen to make a new Carmen Ghia. I mean, they don't really have any cool little sports cars in their lineup. And they would never, a Carmen Ghia is not a fast car. I mean, you can make it quick. You could put the, Golf GTI motor in it or something like that and make it quick. But I would love to see a cool little Carmen Ghia. Pontiac's not around again anymore, but I loved their Solstice and the Saturn Sky. I think they were just coming into their own when GM killed Pontiac brand. But to have a small, there's not enough small sports cars that are affordable for people.
I agree.
And those was perfect. There's very few Miata competitors. The Fiat, the Fiata. It was based on the Mazda Miata. It was the Fiat. I forget what it was. It was Fiat's version of a Mazda Miata. It was actually made by Mazda, but it had the damn Dodge motor in it, and it sucked. The engine sucked. But cool stuff like that. I loved. There's not a lot of touring sedans out there, like an M5 competitor or a 5 Series competitor. All right, rear wheel drive, maybe manual transmission. We had the Chevy SS, which was not the Monte Carlo SS, but Chevy had a division in Australia called Holden.
Yeah.
Holden had the Commodore. They brought the Commodore to the United States for about 4 years. They marketed it as the Chevy SS. It had horrible marketing, so it didn't sell very well. But you could get, it was powered by an LS.
So was that the same as the G8?
It was the G8 prior. Then when they killed Pontiac, it went away. Then they brought it back as a 4-door sedan called the Chevy SS.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So
I do remember.
Had a Corvette motor in it. You could get it as an automatic, or you could get it with a 6-speed manual. So here it is. You had a Corvette powered sedan that you could get with a manual, rear wheel drive, and then they killed it. Well, they killed Holden. Holden died, and Holden's gone. And so there's not any big sedans like that. And so I think a modern version of a 4-door sedan with a good meaty V8 and a manual would be awesome. Would anybody buy it? I don't know, but I think it would be cool. Mitsubishi Evo. Mitsubishi's got their dick in the dirt. They're about, bankrupt. I mean, matter of fact, it came out today. 3 of the most unreliable, 3 of the most unreliable Japanese brands, which when you think of reliability, you think of Japanese, not unreliability, was Nissan, Infiniti, which makes sense because that's Nissan, and Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi is one of the most unreliable Japanese manufacturers right now, which going back to the 90s, man, when they were killing it. You had the friggin' everything. You had the Evo, you had the just the Lancer line in general. They were great.
The GT4, and even their pickup
Right.
trucks, the Montero, I think, or something
Yeah,
like
Mitsubishi
that.
Montero was massive in the 90s.
Yep.
So I mean, they were one of the first forerunners. I think the Montero was a great competitor against the original Ford Explorer. They were one of the first SUVs in the market. So, and from a global standpoint, they were great. And so to see that their quality's gone down is not good. And so they completely abandoned the Evo line. I would love to see a modern Evo, Shelby Cobra. Who wants to? I mean, I would love to see a modern version of a Cobra.
Well, I know
like
Shelby did one back, in the 90s, 99, I think it was, or Shelby did his.
They did, yes. Yep.
Did not sell very well. The interior was very 90-ish, early 90s. Nice car. They're not, I don't know. I felt like that car was kind of had 1992 interior, like an old Viper. The styling was outside of the car was nice, but the inside just looked shitty. And that's one of the reasons that I think that's some of the drawback that American cars have. Their interior is just shit. I personally think I would like to see, and I know we touched on it offline, a Cyclone or a Typhoon.
That would be great.
So the Cyclone was the Jimmy, a 2-door small, which is no different than the Ford Explorer, right? Like the base model Ford Explorer, same size.
Yep.
You see more of those than you see the big ones. So we know there's a market there. But hey, have it so that it has some horsepower, especially now with turbocharge. Like everybody's going turbo. Put a V6 in it, which that's what it had before. Everyone's going V6 turbo. Put that in there so that the husband will buy the car for his wife as make it inexpensive. It doesn't even have to be a V6. It could be a 5-cylinder or even a 4-cylinder. Nowadays, they're getting 4-cylinders with 300 horsepower, right? And make a truck. Let's get back to the mini trucks. Like James and I, we all talked about it. Most people don't need a big truck anymore. We don't need an F-150. The damn Tacoma is huge.
Dude, I said the Maverick. The Maverick is the greatest one. I know your buddy. The Maverick is the greatest truck ever, in my opinion, as far as size and everything. I'm a big mini trucking guy. I had 2 Ford Rangers when Stacey and I first got together. I always loved the truck. The Maverick is the size of the Ranger I had back in the 90s. It's the perfect size.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Ranger, but we used to call them Danger Rangers. But even the Ranger in the Europe market, it's huge. It's the size of a Titan.
Right.
So get back to, we got those electric cars and stuff, those little trucks. So there's the markets there. Let's get back to a small car. I think they just said that, I know Trump's pushed the diesel emission thing. Maybe he got rid of it. I don't know if it's fake news or not. But even if that's not the case, hey, put a turbocharged 4-cylinder in there. So the Jimmy, you can do the Cyclone. If you don't want to call it Tacoma, okay, pick a new name for it, and let's have a small truck. Everyone's buying these Honda Actis that go 50 miles per hour. Even we had the S10. Right. Now what is it? It's Colorado. Again,
Colorado.
Bring back the S10 name. Keep the Colorado. Still have a small truck.
Yeah.
even if you put a four cylinder in there, but you made it sub $20,000, I think it will sell like hotcakes. Especially, uh, a lot of people they're buying the old stuff, but you don't have parts. Um, but people still use them. At least in my town. I mean, I live in a I don't know,
Sleepy
shitty
little
town.
town. Nah, it's
Yeah,
not
shitty.
shitty.
It's just very hobbish, I guess. And it's funny, me and my daughter, we were actually eating out a long time ago, and we were like, let's count how many cars are greater than 5 years or 5 years newer. And like most of the people in my town drive old cars.
Well, you have a
Now,
lot of retirees in your town.
we do. So my
Yes,
father
so that's why. Right.
drives a S10. I think it's 2002.
Mhm.
Paint's like that car. I mean, the metal on it is so thick on the thing, you can just beat on. The AC blows super cold. I mean, that's the great thing about GM. The AC blows cold. He beats the balls off of the truck. AC's cold. It's a two-seater.
My dad
Why
is the
do
same thing.
Yeah, so why
My,
are we going for? We don't need to have. I mean, what's all this wasted space of a F-150? So
right.
now, what's everybody going right now? The hot ticket now is the F-150 with the Whipple supercharger on there. That's
Yep.
$58,000, 720 horsepower. It's a two-door, whatever it's called. Yes, it does have like the CarPlay and stuff like that, but still has vinyl flooring. So why can't we make that smaller? And imagine now, power to weight ratio. We make that small truck, put a four-cylinder.
My dad drives a standard cab F-150 from 1993. It was right when they first went to the rounded model. So it's the size of the current Ranger. I mean, because it was before they went super big, right? So standard cab, loves it. Got V6 motor in it. He'll drive it till the day the wheels fall off.
Yeah, and my dad's is a four-cylinder. I mean, I have replaced the head on it, but hey, sometimes we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can definitely change the body style and make it cool looking. I mean, like you said, the Maverick. Now. Hey, my friend, he did body kit on it. He did. I mean, what did I tell you guys? He's 420 horsepower out of that motor now.
Well, and Ford sees the appeal. They're not doing. They didn't change anything to the motor. It's still got the it's not the hybrid. It's the regular 4-cylinder motor in it. But they have a new model called the Lobo, and it's lowered an inch in the back. It's lowered like half an inch up front. It's got like these kind of like rally looking like wheels on it. It's got like two-tone stitching, and they're trying to make it that kind of like back trucking kind of vibes and everything. It's lowered and it looks cool.
And then why do we have to? I mean, the tooling to do a new car, if it's less metal, smaller body, everything's less. So theoretically, as a manufacturer, hey, you're using less material. So I just now everybody wants to go huge, big. I think I talked to you. I just saw what that Toyota GR. Love the car. I was like, man, I love this little car. $54,000 for that car.
Well, I didn't tell you, but so that a GR Corolla, that's a 3-cylinder.
Yes,
turbocharged. 3-cylinder, huh? Yeah,
it's turbocharged though.
Yeah, it's turbocharged. Yeah, but 3-cylinder. They're getting like I think almost 300 horsepower out of a freaking 3-cylinder. It's great, but they are phenomenal cars, dude. They're amazing. But you're gonna pay for it.
I was like, oh, I love that little car. I thought it was gonna be like $30,000, $20,000. I was like, man, I don't see this car. My buddy has one, and I saw one in my neighborhood or in the town I live in. I was like, oh, that's one of those cars. Man, I love this little car.
Yep.
And I looked it up, but again, they didn't make a lot of them.
That's the thing. They're charging more. They didn't make a lot.
Why do you think they would sell more if the price point was lower?
So here's the thing. I think that that really has only been out for
I don't even think they have it this year.
2 years, model year. Well, yeah, they're still making it, but they only did I think they only done 1 model year, or maybe they're on their 2nd model year. They sold out. I think they were testing the market to see if it would actually really sell well. So I think just like when I got
put a $50,000 price tag on it, of course it's not going to sell good.
Well, and they have different models too. I mean, they have different versions. Like they have like 3 different tiers. And one's like a straight up track car. The others are, and so I think it's a matter of they will eventually make more of them. And I think that the price will come down when they do make more of them. We'll just wait and see. But
Yeah, so I think let's go back to small cars. The parking lots are getting smaller, right?
mhm.
I mean, look at you. If you live in a big city, you go in a parking lot. Most of them, especially in a big city, compact, 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 compact.
Yeah,
We're going the opposite. Cybertrucks, Hummer trucks, big SUVs, Cadillacs.
I heard today the you know Ford, God bless them, they're doing like Dodge. Dodge went through it there for a while, and if they could put a Hellcat in it, they would. Ford is Raptorizing everything. They got the Ranger Raptor, they got the F-150 Raptor, and they made a Bronco Raptor. The wheelbase on the Bronco Raptor, width-wise, is the same width as an H1 Hummer. Think about that. So, I mean, you see H1 Hummer in real life. I mean, the center tunnel on it is freaking 2.5 feet wide. I mean, it's a massive vehicle, and that's the wheel track of a freaking Bronco Raptor. I'm like,
So the H1 Hummer is the one that you're talking about, like the military used.
the original
Yeah.
Hummer, the
Humvee.
Bronco Raptor is the same size as width-wise as an H1 Hummer, the original Hummer. And I'm like, I mean, my Ram that I just got rid of, that bitch, I mean, literally, when you're going down the highway, you had about 6 inches on each side and to the line. That was it.
Mhm.
It was a pain in the ass to park. I mean, I enjoyed the truck for what it was, and it was great as far as going on a vacation because it was cavernous inside. Family of 4, no problem at all. You threw the luggage in the back, but
But how much of that is wasted space, though?
a lot. I mean, my I mean, wasted in the fact of it's unused. My son loved it because he could freaking lay back in the back seat. But it is
Right,
wasted
but I mean,
space.
we're not. I mean, I know I'm not tall, but for the most, hey, we have a lot of friends. I don't have that many 6'4" and 6'5" friends.
No,
And
no. I mean,
it's not because I don't hang out with tall people. It's
no,
just when you see somebody that's tall, like, oh, you're that tall, okay.
dude.
And
I'm
even now,
5'10". I'm sorry. I'm 5'10". My wife, my wife's size, she's 5'2" or whatever. When the kids were in the back seat, there was literally a foot and a half between their knees and the back seat. I mean, it was tons.
And now I see like the Cherokee. Our friend Dave rented one of those. The slant of the windshield was so pitched that when you got into the car, you had to tilt your head into. Now, yes, you had lots of room up here at the top, but to get in, you smacked your head on the A pillar. So let's just get back to small cars. Hey, make them quick, turbocharge them. So hey, you're saving on gas unless you're on boost. I mean, I have a Ford van. Yes, I know it's a billboard, but that motor's the same one that's in the Maverick. If you're not in boost, but the power's there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm with you. Cars keep getting bigger and bigger. That's why I love European cars, is because they're small. You don't need a massive vehicle. I'm not a small guy, but I don't necessarily love big vehicles. That's why I've always had a small sports car as my personal vehicle, because that's what I like.
And let's get back to hot hatches. What the hell?
Yes, 100%.
I mean, I know Zuzu's not here, or the iMark, and like, hey, we don't need all these big cars anymore, especially now everyone's trying to. I mean, hell, you look at these houses that are built, most people can't even park 2 cars in their driveway because they're so damn big. Or if you have a 2-car garage, you literally have to park it perfect because the car's so damn big.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
can you
James
park
go ahead.
your truck in your car? Like,
No.
if you didn't have,
No,
and they're not changing. It's not like the garage is getting bigger or taller. They're still the standard, but we get a bigger truck, and now we have to park the truck, and we have to park, your car.
Well, James said in our group text that he's been driving his daughter's GTI, and it was great. Little Ripper, awesome thing. I had on my list of cars. Mazda used to make, back when they had the MX nomenclature for everything, they made an MX-3. It was a small 2-door hatchback. It was a great car, and they were fairly quick because it was so lightweight. Make one of those again. It'd be a great car. Yeah, I don't know, man, but yeah, I love little hatchbacks. I always have.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk on this subject again when the other guys are here, because it's a pretty exciting topic. I think that there's so many cars of yesteryear that we all enjoyed. That I think, now again, I'm not an executive but I am a car guy. I definitely think that people would want these cars I don't know. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. Hit us up, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I'm
Stacy got
curious.
excited because Stacy's car, when I met her, I think I've told you guys, she had a red Honda Prelude.
Yeah, they're
And
coming back with that
Honda,
shit.
they're coming back. I told her the other day, I said, hey, Honda's making a new Prelude. She goes, really?
They're gonna ruin it. They're gonna make it like the Integra.
I know it. But it'll be cool though if they do it right, but they probably won't. I'd love to see again Pontiac's
The
on around.
S2000 or the S2000. Like I've seen the
S2000.
renderings. I told my daughter, I said, I might have to pony up for that one for you. Just if it, I know it's not gonna look the same, but they are surprising us. So,
On my list, I had the S2000. I had the Toyota MR2. That'd be cool. And I had the Pontiac Fiero. I'd love to see a new Fiero.
now that would be definitely a throwback.
Yeah, I would love to see a new Fiero. We had a teacher when I was in high school. One of the clubs I was in, she was the head of that, and she had a Fiero. And yeah, I guess this was the '90s, a different time. I can't imagine doing this now, but we need something for class or whatever. And she'd just throw us her keys and, hey, take my car, go get whatever. So I ripped that damn little Fiero all around Sanford. It was a great car.
And it was a small car. It didn't have to have a lot of horsepower because it just felt fast, right?
Yeah. It was the Miata. I mean, the way the Miatas are now, they don't have a lot of horsepower, but they're quick and they're nimble because they're so small.
You're looking at a go-kart, low to the ground, small, Mini Cooper. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. Like, not a lot of horsepower. You only need about 160, 170 horsepower. Miata, same thing.
Yep.
Feels fast because it's a small car.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So. All right, man. Well, that's almost an hour and a half in. So. All
right.
Look at that. Just like nothing. Guys, thanks for listening. If you have any questions, obviously hit us up on Instagram or any of the comment sections. Go to our website, whiskeywatcheswheels.com.
And I know we have a lot of people that listen. So, hey, take some time and just drop a comment, or even go on our Instagram and drop a comment. Like, you guys are dropping comments about, OnlyFans. So I know our listeners. So drop a comment to on our Instagram or our Facebook or whatever else we have. Mainly, like, I think YouTube, because we can, engage a little bit in there.
Correct. We can. Yeah. And if you got any questions that you would want to ask us, or, nothing's really offline or out of the ordinary, at least not for me, I'm an open book. So throw them in there. I'll answer them. And we will catch you guys next week. All right. Peace out.
See ya.